A lesson that I've learned from BATP was when I came on as a video designer for the first time in a school public production of Jerry Springer the Opera, where I was totally in control of a team of 3 other people. And it really put me outside my comfort zone in terms of could I do the job in hand and was it going to look good and things like that. And I cried and I kind of tore my hair out.
It's one of those places where rather than being like, oh, well, it's really difficult in this industry, everyone just goes, right, that's what you want to do? Brilliant, go do it.
They will open the doors, they might turn on the light, but you have to do the work yourself.
I was absolutely convinced that this piece of set, built to this size, would fit through the door.
I never thought that I would have to get up at 5:15.
So much work goes into, a 10-minute show.
In the second year, they just give you free reign of a major venue in London.
You have no choice. If it's not done, the show doesn't go up.
When I started at Central, I didn't know what a projection designer was.
The audience often don't understand why the set's there.
My 3 years at Central were really about opening my eyes.
I didn't really know what I would be doing with my life, really.
And it's really nice now when you're actually, very on your way to becoming a designer.
The only way I've got work in the industry is through Central.
I have a brilliant job. I really enjoy what I do.
And in the end, it was such a good feeling. I've got so many jobs and things from that show.
What I love about our graduates, and I do care passionately about every single one of them, is that they don't wait for permission to do something. They will do it, they will seize it for themselves, because I hope one of the things that they really get out of this experience is they know themselves and they know what they need, and therefore they don't feel they have to wait for a director to give them a job. They will make their own company, they will find their own work. They are artists, every single one of them, in different ways.
First day of Central, I remember being extremely excited and sitting there thinking, I'm actually in the biz. I don't know whether anybody remembers the biz, but I used to love it.
I'm not sure if I really knew what I wanted to do. It was more of a general curiosity, like, I think this will be interesting.
I was kind of up for anything, and I knew BATP as a whole was what I wanted. But it allowed me to kind of talk to other people in the interviews and see what they were doing. And even though some of them had really ideals of what they wanted to do, I kind of gauged of what might be my involvement in the course from the other people that were there.
I had no real idea of where I wanted to be in theatre. I understood that that was sort of my vocation. Now I have a confidence to understand where I want to locate myself within the industry and actually assert that.
I learned a lot of personal skills, how to speak to directors, how to make myself articulate and articulate my ideas for a production and be confident in that. Also taught me how to compromise and collaborate with other designers to be able to achieve and to make the sound design feel part of a whole production.
I mean, yeah, from thinking of, the Jay that started Central 4.5 years ago and where I am now, I had so many different experiences and kind of working with so many different personalities. And we've all got those people that you meet that you kind of see and you go, oh, hang on, not too sure about them.
The technicians and the actors. The actors think that they're better than the technicians, and the technicians think that they're one up on the actors. I think this will go forever and ever. This is fine until obviously you're backstage waiting to get on to fix a door or something like that, and you actually realise, wow, they've just spoken to me or something like that.
Central is built for a whole range of people. And I think a lot of people are worried maybe before they come that they don't have enough experience, or they've never had a professional job, or they've only done A-level theatre, or they haven't even done A-level theatre. And that's not, I've done interviews with BATP students. That's not necessarily what we're looking for. We're looking for people who are creative, who are open to new ideas, who would really benefit from the experience.
The thing about an educational experience is it won't always be enjoyable. And I think quite often as a tutor, you're having to set something that is really hard. And they may be working with people that they wouldn't have chosen to work with. But that is actually a real life scenario, and actually you learn so much about yourself when you're working with other people. In fact, that's the biggest journey. It's not what you learn necessarily about others, it's what you learn about yourself and how you deal with others.
I won't say that working with all of the different strands was easy. I would say that we probably came to blows a couple of times, but it helps you a lot in the real world on how to work with those relationships, I think.
A student would come to Central to further their passion for theatre.
A student is committed, well-driven, always has to be organised and friendly. That's rubbish.
I want to graduate from this course because I think Central is a great place to attack kind of the career that I want to go into from.
I want to do something different. I want to make theatre a better place.
I want to be a costume maker.
I want to be a producer.
I want to be a producer.
I want to make big art for everyone.
I want to be someone.
I'm not sure what I want to do with my life yet. I've never seen opera.
I want to work on musicals in the West End.
But I'm not a big fan of musicals, I prefer plays.
If I could become a famous set designer, that would be amazing.
I want to.
I basically wanted to do stage management for quite a long time now.
To go over to America and work on the Renaissance fairs.
Do I want to graduate? Yeah.
I want to be, when I leave this university, production manager of a big West End musical. That is my dreams, aspirations for when I leave here.
Students coming into the first year of BATP do have huge ambitions, and we are constantly asking them what they want to be doing. What do you want to be doing in 5 years' time? We start asking that on interview day, and we continue that throughout the course. And I have to say that actually people talk about I would like to be working with Opera Australia or Australia Ballet, and actually the students fulfil those ambitions while they're still on the course. They actually go and do fantastic placements now.
BATP helped me to get where I am now because I think working with everybody within all of the different strands is extremely important. I know people that went and did design courses but had never worked on a proper production. They've never worked with stage managers. They've never worked with lighting people.
I mean, Central was great because I got a real chance to cross-strand. In my third year, I did a term of lighting. Al, my tutor, was very amenable to get us involved with whatever we wanted to do, you know. I mean, in my second year, I created a music festival.
Although I was on a set and costume course, I learnt stage management, I did some lighting. It was totally collaborative in every way, and a lot of skills that I learned were outside of the course basis.
I have somehow become a video and projection designer. I work in theatre and live music, and I work with a collaborative group called Mesmer, and our work focuses around video and live performance. I met them when I was working as a lighting tech at Riverside Studios, which was my first job out of Central. And since then, I've just sort of worked my way up and around, and now I'm designing lots of shows. I mean, I did a degree in directing, producing and dramaturgy theoretically, but it still allowed me to go on and do what's quite a kind of technical design-based job.
It's interesting, people think when you train in theatre you ought to stay in theatre, but that's not the case. Being a prop maker has really allowed me to explore all kinds of different avenues, different industries, things from film, theatre, adverts, and also just doing private work in people's houses.
Looking back now, it's great to see that the 12 strands worked closely together. You had your stage managers, you had your designers, you had your craftspeople, your lighting, etc. And it almost felt like working in a proper production team, which meant everything was done and realised. And when you left to go into the real world, it felt like kind of a similar process.
BATP has 12 strands because theatre has that many different professional roles. You know, you can't put on a proper, decent production unless you have someone to work on your sound, someone to make your props, someone to stage manage the whole event, someone to rig your lighting.
What happens to Central that is quite unique, it's a group of people that come from so many different backgrounds that make it unique. A little bit like the town where it's based at, which is London. You get all these people from all these crazy different backgrounds, countries, people with different languages, so many different points of view that get together and create this amazing energy in this place. And you will see, once you come to Central, as soon as you come through the doors, you get this little energy buzzing. And every time I come back and I think about my times here, and every time I walk up those stairs, there's a sense of responsibility. There's such a good vibe that I think stays with you forever.
BATP is performance arts, sound design, scenic art, production lighting, puppetry.
Props, costume, scenic art, scenic construction, stage management, technical management, performance arts. What else is there?
Costume construction,
Puppetry,
scenic art,
sound design, lighting design.
Set, costume design, lighting, electronic-y bits.
You often come across other BATP students just because theatre's a tiny world. You run into people everywhere. There's a couple that work here as well. One that works in my office that graduated 2 years before myself. So you always run into students, and it's great to see what everybody else is doing and what everybody else is getting up to.
I regularly come across other graduates because we often find ourselves in the same work and working in the same industry because it's a small world. But once you're in it, it's a good world to be in.
Every single show that I've done has been linked back to Central in some way. In fact, it's really kind of like a family tree as such, because every time I go to a show, I see someone that knows me from Central or knows a friend from Central, and it's a really good kind of networking basis for that. It makes you feel a lot more ease in what you do.
It's nice to know that you've come from the same world and you've had the same ethos as they have, and you know that they are working towards a similar goal that you were working towards then and are hopefully now.
Yeah, one important thing I suppose I've learned since being out working as a professional is that you have to really make your own decisions in everything you do, and you can't just let the work come to you. You need to go and find the work, and you need to kind of really drive yourself.
Yeah. If I were to mess up, a job or any job really, I mean, the main problem with that is, the people you're working for and whether they may not employ you again. I mean, I'm self-employed, so I am my own person, and if I don't get employed again, then I'm screwed, But I mean, it's all about personalities, really. I mean, that's one of the main things as well with our profession is doing the job you do, but also how you are as a person.
What Central has given me is a resourcefulness and an ability. I have a great team around me. I know people to talk to, and there is this sort of language where we want to put theatre on, so we're going to do it despite the odds.
It gives you the opportunity to experiment and find out what your skills are. I think without that, I would have struggled, because you need that time of experimentation, learning, development, to actually know where you should go.
I remember doing design presentations at Central was always the thing that everybody dreaded the most, just because you felt so exposed, showing your work to tutors and students who would just sit and stare blankly at you. But actually that really helps you, because the more you do it, the better you get at it.
The shows that we worked on outside of school, but with Central School of Speech and Drama, worked together really well, because it taught us how the outside world actually works, as opposed to a drama school trying to be the outside world. And it was really being thrown in at the deep end.
And I don't sing at all. I really am bad. And we had to sing a cappella in front of the whole class. And although at the time it was absolutely devastating, it was brilliant, because once you've hit the bottom, once you've said, listen, sometimes I'm not good at things, actually from then on in, I wasn't afraid to make mistakes.
I think the most important thing you can possibly do when you're on the TP course is to take advantage of every possible opportunity, because those opportunities, although it's possible that they'll come up again, will not come up in that volume again as quickly when you leave. When you're out in the real world, you don't get a million opportunities to work on a West End musical one week and go, produce some tiny little hole-in-the-wall thing in a basement in Islington where someone's covering themselves in peanut butter or something like that. You don't get that spectrum.
I think one of the key lessons that everyone learns is about how to collaborate effectively. And that, I think it's worth saying that's a skill that you can take to any industry in the entire world.
I actually believe that the majority of the work that the students are doing is cutting edge, it is innovative, as well as the fact that it takes all its ethics from traditional theatre. So we have all the rigour of traditional theatre, in that the end product is a highly polished finish, a good standard of finish.
But what I hope the future holds for all of them is that they won't hesitate to make their own theatre or their own work that stems from their love of theatre, even if that's in advertising or it's in event management or it's in, you know, the sort of broadest scope of things that become related to performance. That's the really important thing for me, is that each of them is an individual and each of them therefore is going to make their own kind of theatre. They're not going to be told what sort of shape they need to fill. They'll make the new form of theatre that other people can gather around.
I am a girl, I am 20, I am a student, I am at Central School of Speech and Drama, I am on PA, I am training to be a theatre practitioner, I am learning how to direct and learning how to produce, I am living in London, I am called Catherine.
If someone was starting Central now and was slightly hesitant about going into that world, I would tell them to be very open and really embrace the fact that there are lots of different disciplines and embrace all of that experience and knowledge that you can gain from the other people.
When I lecture at drama schools now, I sort of tell the students now is your time to fuck up and make mistakes. You should make as many mistakes now as you possibly can, because in your professional life you can't make mistakes. You're only as good as your last show. So Central was really good kind of open ground for that. So it helped.
And I think that's quite a big thing. I mean, at most universities, talked to a few people on different courses around the country, and everything is all theoretical, paper-based projects, not real money, not real venues.
I've now worked on 3 BAFTA-nominated children's programmes. We were hoping that we would win this year, but we didn't.
I think what sets Central apart is partially the level of support that's available, and also the people who are offering the support. You know, the teachers who are there, the tutors, have incredible backgrounds, a wonderful sort of pile of experience that they're drawing on, and you get to siphon off their experience into your work. And that's I think probably one of the biggest parts, is that there is that support from such talented professionals.
Anyone that's getting into theatre practice has to love it. They have to really want to be part of it, as opposed to just it being a whim. They have to realise that it's long hours and it's hard work, but it's really good fun. It's incredible, like, people that work there, because everybody has got the same momentum that's keeping them going.
Sometimes when, you know, I've been thinking about or asked to describe what my job has been like, it's not dissimilar to an air traffic controller. You know, you're trying to keep an eye on everything that's going on with a large number of people and bring them safely to landing. And I hope that's what we've done.